Hey y'all, I'm Jessi Harry and welcome back to my channel for another week's What's for Dinner. Tonight we're having Instant Pot Creamy Turkey Spinach Penne. So we've got some ground turkey, some diced up onion, some Monterey Jack shredded cheese, about a cup, water and chicken bouillon cubes to make 2 cups of chicken broth, some oregano, black ground pepper, chili powder, a can of Rotel diced tomatoes, some garlic powder, ground cumin, some salt, olive oil, spinach, some noodle, penne pasta, and a block of cream cheese. So we're gonna get things started in our Instant Pot. So first things first, I'm putting 2 teaspoons of olive oil into the Instant Pot while it is on the high sear mode. Those were heaping teaspoons, please ignore that. Then I dumped in the pound of ground turkey and we're gonna get that all chopped up. Alright, once that's all chopped up, we're going to toss in the diced onion and put in the salt, garlic powder, cumin, oregano, and black pepper. The exact measurements will be in the recipe. So once I have all that in there, I'm going to get it all mixed up. And once the meat is brown, we're going to toss in the 10 ounces of the penne noodles, the 2 cups of chicken broth, the can of Rotel diced tomatoes, and then salt, pepper, cumin, and chili powder. You are not going to stir this. You're going to leave it exactly how it looks right there, the exact way that it's layered, all that stuff. You're going to be tempted to stir it. Do not. So put the lid on, and you're going to set it to high pressure for 4 minutes. Make sure that it's on seal, of course, and not vent. Alright, so now it's done and I'm stirring the noodles. The noodles are very al dente. Do not cook them anymore. They're going to soften up as you do the ending process. So I'm tossing in 4 ounces of cream cheese, about half that block, 2 big handfuls of spinach. Get that all stirred up. And then I'm tossing in that cup of Monterey Jack cheese, and then I'm stirring that all together until the cream cheese and the cheese is melted. So this is what it looks like plated up. Here is the pasta. I just served it with a nice little garden salad on the side, of course with some ranch dressing. This was probably my second favorite meal of the week. It was very yummy and very easy, hardly any dirty dishes. You have got to try it. Alright, so next we're going to whip up some Caesar pork tenderloin sandwiches. This is oh so easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we have some ciabatta sandwich rolls, a lemon garlic pork tenderloin. You do want it marinated in this seasoning, or you can put your own lemon garlic on if you want to. It's easier to do this. Parmesan shredded cheese, Caesar dressing, Ken Steakhouse is the best. And then some sad looking lettuce, because I forgot that we needed lettuce for this and used it in my salads the night before. So that is what we have. That's all you need for this recipe. So let's get started. First things first, you're just going to cook your pork tenderloin according to the directions. Mine said 350 for 30 minutes. It actually took more like 50 minutes. Basically, you just want to cook it until the internal temperature reaches 145. I know a lot of people say 160, but I feel like that makes the pork really tough. 145, and then you let it sit for like 7 minutes until it's all the way cooked through. Then you slice it up decently thin and you make the sandwiches, which is Parmesan cheese, the pork tenderloin, Caesar salad dressing, and lettuce. And I served it with some marinated cucumber, tomato, and onion in vinegar with a bunch of seasonings and herbs on it. This was so easy and honestly so good. You could put other stuff on it if you wanted to, but you should try it this way. Next we have the family favorite for the week, which is Cajun Chili. Ooh, so good. Alright, so we've got some parsley, some tomato paste in a tube, best invention ever, FYI, some andouille smoked sausage, a pound of ground chicken. You could use turkey if you wanted to, but it really said chicken. So we have about half a cup of onion, a whole green bell pepper, a third of a cup of diced celery, some kidney beans, some fire roasted diced tomatoes, crushed peeled tomatoes, some slap your mama Cajun seasoning. Don't slap your mama. Some raw shrimp, olive oil, minced garlic, and some salt. It says sea salt in the recipe, but I use pink Himalayan salt. It's not a difference. Alright, so let's get this going. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to put in a tablespoon of olive oil into the Instant Pot while it's on high sear mode. Once that's warmed through, I'm going to toss in the onions, the celery, the garlic, and the green bell pepper. And then basically you're going to cook all that until it softens, so about 4 to 5 minutes. It really doesn't need to be that soft because you know you're going to pressure cook it. So 4 to 5 minutes is perfect. So once that was softened, stirred it up a little bit, and then I added a half a tablespoon of olive oil, and then threw in the chicken, and then I broke all that up and got it good and mixed together. So you're going to want to let that cook until it's browned. And once it's browned, you're going to take the meat out and drain all the juices out of it and put it back into the pressure cooker. So here I am taking it out, and now here it is back. So then you're going to put in both of the andouille sausage links sliced up and 2.5 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning. And then you're going to get that all good and mixed up. And you're going to continue to cook that on high saute for about 5 minutes until the sausage is brown. Then you're going to dump in the crushed tomatoes, the fire roasted tomatoes, the kidney beans, and then you're going to watch me wrestle with this tomato paste tube. Apparently I need to use both hands to squeeze all this out. I don't know why it was so difficult for me, but it was. I was struggling. I was going to cut it out, but you know what? This is real life. This is me struggling as I try and cook dinner and do 5 million other things, so whatever. Then I just scored a little bit in at the end since it wasn't going so well, so there you go. Then I put in the salt, and I got this really mixed up. I wanted to make sure all those flavors were very well combined and mixed together. So once that's done, you're going to cover it, set it to seal, and you're going to cook it on high pressure for about 10 minutes. And once that 10 minutes is over, you are going to want it to let it naturally release instead of venting it yourself. And once that's done, you're going to toss in the shrimp and set it back on the sear mode and let that shrimp just cook through. Of course, not too much. And once it's cooked, you're just going to remove it off the heat. So we serve this with some toppings, of course. We've got some cheddar, some Monterey Jack, some sour cream, some crackers. We serve that cucumber vinaigrette thing that we had from the night before. This is what it looked like done. Ooh, doesn't that look so comforting and yummy? So this is what it looked like once we put it in the bowl. I, of course, put in a spoonful of sour cream, topped it with a literal Monterey Jack cheese, and then put a little parsley on top. Do not add any salt to this. Do not. It has plenty of salt, especially with the Cajun seasoning and the salt that comes in it. Don't add anything else to it. This was the family favorite. This was so good. Please, if you try anything out of this video, try this. All right, and then last we've got some 5-ingredient sticky stovetop balsamic drumsticks. So of course we have drumsticks right here. And then we have some balsamic vinegar, some reduced sodium soy sauce, a cup of water, some garlic, and some brown sugar. And then I also did the extra flavorings, which were optional, and that was fresh grated ginger and red pepper flakes. It was just my personal preference. You can cook it either way. I like all the flavors. All right, so we're gonna get this started in my electric skillet. So because of the size of this, I did use my electric skillet. So we're tossing in a cup of water, the soy sauce, and the balsamic vinegar, and of course, basically everything else: red pepper flakes, ginger, brown sugar, and the garlic. Once we got all that in there, I'm going to mix it up. And then we're going to put the drumsticks on there in a single layer. You're going to bring that to a boil, and you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes, turning the chicken at the halfway point at 10 minutes. Basically, you're going to do this until it's cooked. It says 20 minutes. It takes a little bit longer than that in my experience. So once everything's cooked, you're going to push all the chicken to the side and let the sauce thicken in the middle. I did have to add about a cup of water right there. Once it's all thickened, you're going to drag the drumsticks through it so it gets that glaze all on the drumsticks. So I plated them all up so they wouldn't continue cooking in the electric skillet and get dry or tough. They look delicious. I served it with, we had made some stick of butter rice, and then we made some white rice because we didn't have enough. So we mixed that together. We stir-fried some veggies, and this is what it looks like plated up. This was definitely yummy. I feel like it was a little complicated, so make sure you do this when you have a little bit of time. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great weekend.